All right, how's everybody doing? Peter Vexman here. On the other side, I have my good friend and partner, Ronald Rowan. Ron, how are you?
I'm good, man. How about you? Everything
Good.
good?
Doing good, doing good. I appreciate you doing this. We've done multiple
Absolutely.
deals, but
Yeah.
we were told today we're only going to focus on one of those deals. So,
Okay.
what's the address and remind me on the numbers, how much we made on that deal?
All right. The second deal we've done, the latest one we've done was in Cedar Lake, Indiana. We're about half mile from the lake, actually, in Robin's Nest subdivision. We got this house for 180. We were all in at 185, and we sold it for 325. That was a very good deal. A clean house. We didn't even get to list it. And there was a deal that fell through with another realtor about a block and a half away with a young couple that wanted to live near the lake. And that deal fell through. She says, "What do you want for it?" I told her. Later that afternoon, they went and looked at it. The next day, we had later that night, we had an offer, and it was under contract the next day.
That's awesome.
So,
That's what I call a near perfect deal. Somebody brought it for us. We had our
yeah.
amazing local contractor Duke do the work,
Yep.
and then it sold before we even had to sell it. I mean, I guess it doesn't get any better than that.
No,
Um,
and I really think, and I need to say this. I felt bad. The one house we did, the first one in Griffith, Indiana. Remember that one?
that's right, of course.
Okay. There was neighbors that came by, two of them specifically, and says, "Hey, I have a relative or relatives that want to move in this area, and it'd be great to have them live by us, right?"
Yep,
So they told the contractor. Duke's guys never told me. So he told me after the fact.
yeah,
So I kind of felt bad. I mean, whether it would have actually went through,
that's
to
right.
fruition with them, I don't know. But I thought, you know what? On this house, we're not going to let that happen. If somebody has a relative that'd like them to move closer to them, so that's the reason for the for sale by owner thing. So it
There
worked
you
out.
go. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
listen, it could have it not the worst problem to have that we had multiple. What did we end up doing that first one for? How much did we make on that one?
Oh man, that one we were 80 plus on that one. That
About
one we
80.
got 150. When we were in it for 190, and we sold for 314.
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good one too. Tell just a little bit about yourself, your background, and things like that.
All right, my background, I was in industrial construction. Had four businesses, bought two, started one. Industrial background. Had no commercial or residential experience except playing around my own house. So always arm's length into real estate, always been looking at it. So finally decided to give it a shot. I chose partner driven and I need to say this if you don't mind, over a couple other companies out there. And it was the best decision I ever made as far as a real estate goes. Um, it's a five-star organization. You and Julie are personally involved. Um, I can call you anytime, day or night. Then you call me. I mean, I don't think that's not accessible to other people in other arenas. I just don't believe it is. There's no 8 to 5, 7 to 7. I mean, you've got the coaches, you've got a person for every aspect of this business. Um, and you make it so you've simplified the process. So it's awesome. It's just awesome. It's if you fail at this because you weren't consistent and you just didn't give it the effort that you should have put into it. So it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So
Well, listen, I appreciate that. Let me piggyback on something you just said. There is no question. One of the biggest reasons people do join us is because we provide all the money for deals. Our
yep.
partners don't have to bring. If you were just to isolate that one piece, that you do not have to use your own money on any of these deals, talk a little bit about how does that feel? Not knowing that, hey, you don't have to use it, you don't have to risk it, any of that. How does that feel to someone like yourself from your
Well,
perspective?
that is such a relief knowing that you're going to go out and find something and that you have the teamwork and the financial resources behind you to back it all up. That's a huge, huge relief. You're not using any of your own money. You don't have to worry about that. You've got the pit bull Mary in the background doing the closings, dealing with the title companies and bankers and whatever attorneys if need be. So those first two deals, especially the first one, she was a pit bull on that. I think you remember that. But
Yep, I do.
yeah, it's awesome to have that, such a relief, and it's very seamless with partner driven, extremely seamless. And I did see on the Facebook group, does anybody know, I'm sorry, it was something else. I don't remember exactly what it was. Has anybody used partner driven? Is it truly a 50-50 split? Is there any of this, any negativities? None whatsoever. We split everything. We talked about it a couple times. Hey, we did this, we did this. Okay, boom. Transferred the next day. I mean, it after closing, it just doesn't get any better than that. Again, it's a very seamless process. The only thing I had to do was get a contractor, and I bird dog Duke a little bit, but I was only, I was a half hour from the house. And
That's
I
right.
enjoy going over that anyway, because that's my background. I always babysit our guys until we got to the stage didn't need
Yep.
to anymore. Yeah, and kept you guys up, with pictures once a week so you could, see the progress, and boom, it was done deal.
That's awesome.
So
Hey,
yeah.
remind me from your standpoint, did we have any challenges on this deal? I think it took us a little bit longer than we expected to close. Was that like our biggest challenge on this one?
That was, well, the second one went really good. The first one we had a challenge because there was a lien on the property,
I do remember
which
that.
the owner did not recall,
That's
and
right.
PNC Bank did not even have a record of it.
That's right. I remember
So
that.
through all the shifting and this and that and everything else, Mary finally put her foot down and says, "Look, this thing's got to go." And it ended up being a $300 lien that held up that closing for 2 weeks. Nobody could find the information on it. So anyway, that's the one that had a little bit, but Mary was on it every day, dealing with the owner's representative.
Yeah.
Um, so it worked out great.
Yeah,
Worked out
well,
great.
and that's one of the things I tell people, because a lot of people don't look at it from this perspective. But when you're partnering with us, you're partnering with experience. And let's face it,
Absolutely. Yeah.
very few deals don't have some kind of challenge, whether it's, that lien nobody knew about, whether it's some kind of a buy or sell or whatever issues. And really that experience, that experience becomes absolutely invaluable. So a couple exit questions. So if I were to ask you to summarize, or like, would you recommend somebody looking at partner driven to jump in and partner with us and do deals? What would be your experience, or what would be your answer to that?
Quit looking for other avenues and join partner driven. You will not regret it. Again, it's a 5-star organization from top to bottom. And it's not only you're not just another person, you are part of a family. And I'm family orientated. I know you guys are. When you invited Karen and I to your lake house, I said, "Can you believe this?" I mean, it was awesome. And you had other partners there, and Barry was there, and a few others. Got to meet Taylor. Julie couldn't make it. I think she got stuck by a
Yeah.
storm somewhere in New Orleans or something, whatever. But just that family atmosphere. I mean, it's awesome. I know I can call you up, say, "Peter, I'm going to our place in Florida in a month or so. You're going to be around your lake house. I'd like to come by and, just chat for a little bit." I know you'd say, "Come on down. I'll be here." And
100%.
it doesn't get any, you don't get that. I mean, that's what I love. And I got to say this, because I even told my wife, Karen, when you called, I was sitting there in Florida. I was sitting right outside having a cup of coffee. And I look at my phone, it says, "Peter of Excellence." So I get on the phone. "Hey, Ron, this is Peter. Tell me, you got a deal under contract." I said, "Yeah." He says, tell me about the numbers. Tell me about it." And I told her, when I got off the phone, she goes, "Who was that?" I said, "There's Peter." I said, him and Julia, the owners of Partner Driven." I said, "You met him at the event." I said, "This guy's calling me at 7 o'clock in the morning talking about a deal." I mean, your involvement, both you and Julie and everyone, it's to the max. It's to the wall, 110%. And you don't get that with other people. That you just don't get it. So yeah,
Well, I appreciate it. And I'll tell you, aside from being an amazing partner, Ron, I mean, you're just a great guy. I mean, you are just a true good old guy. I'm glad that our partnership and mostly our friendship is forming. You're right.
Absolutely.
Ron and I talk in the mornings. Like, I'm a morning dude. He knows to get a hold of me, you got to be calling. He's learned that. So here's the magic final question. We're ready to do another deal?
Absolutely.
Let's
Absolutely. And you know my goal. I'm not going to, well, you know my goal. I
do know
said
your
20,
goal.
I said 20 a year, and I'm
Yeah.
behind. But we are working on that. We're going to have a Zoom call here in another hour about getting out there and getting more motivated sellers. So that's what it's all about. So
That's awesome. Well, appreciate it. You're a gem. Karen's a gem. Look forward to many more deals. Thanks, Ron.
absolutely. Us as well, buddy. Thanks so much, Peter. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
Awesome.